Hey everyone, I'm a software engineer. I've been working professionally in the industry for the last 8 years doing full stack development, and recently I have been documenting my game development learning journey through the Godot open source game engine. I've been documenting it via streaming, exactly what I'm doing right now. It's been a blast so far. Learned a ton, met some cool people, got a lot of good feedback and chatting messages and whatnot as one does when they stream. But as I usually do when I start out the stream, I show off what I've been doing. Right now the build is slightly broken because I've been working recently on the save system. So over the last few weeks, I've built out a number of different features related to inventory, inventory management, weapons, UI, and I haven't integrated that into the save system until the last couple days in the last couple streams. And so yesterday I finished at a kind of broken point. We had some wonkiness when it came to the dead zombies here. So you could basically kill them multiple times, which isn't ideal, as well as their the dead zombie icon stuff logic, getting put on the zombie in a weird position. For a little bit of context on the game, though, it's a top-down 2D shooter. It's more of a playground than it is a game. I'm just building out features that I might want to implement in a future game, and so it's kind of a hodgepodge list of things. Top down though, you can only see zombies technically when your flashlight is on. I have debug values on right now, so you can, that's what the circle and the triangles and stuff are. But when I turn the flashlight on, you can actually see the zombie and there's a shadow and whatnot. So let's get into fixing what we were doing. So basically what had happened was I have two concepts for a zombie as well as zombie inventory. The inventory is generic. It can be used across any different NPC or player character. But basically what I do is when a zombie dies, I take the inventory from the zombie, create a new scene, a new object called dead zombie, and then place that down. I realized that wasn't probably the best approach to take when I first started building this. So what I'm doing is going back and refactoring the zombie so that when it dies, it just puts a sprite down. It turns off its movement logic, and then you can open the inventory there. That way it's a little easier to save the zombies, the dead zombies, into the save chunking system, because right now dead zombies aren't associated with chunks as they save, which means that if you go to reload the game, the dead zombies are no longer there, which isn't what we want. So we had made a change at the end of the stream that we said self.isAlive equals false, but we also removed the, we were queue freeing, so we were freeing this zombie scene here, which, again, we don't want to do. So we removed it, but then it's causing some other wonkiness, so we just need to handle those cases. And also, instead of creating... Oh no, we can create dead zombie, but what we also need to do is... See, I was wondering where we were connecting this to, but I think we're doing it in chunk. Maybe chunk manager? No, we're not doing... I feel like we are connecting that somewhere, and it's emitting... So you remove... We should not be calling remove zombie anymore, because that... let's just make sure there's nothing in here. Emit update zombies killed. That's okay. Okay, so remove... Okay, to do... Remove current zombie sprite in favor of... Excuse me. Dead zombie scene. Also, we want to turn off all zombie logic. So like movement, collision, masks, etc. Because all we want then is the dead zombie. So we'll need a way to... So we actually have a function for marking visibility here, but we can say... So if self.is alive, so if not self.is alive, so if it's dead, whenever this gets called, we just want to set sprite.visible equals false, and then return. And also say self.is zombie visible equals false, because we're calling this related to our flashlight function, I believe. I always forget there's this call deferred function that we can use in the ready functions. It basically means that if scenes aren't ready that are using and a function needs to be called, you can defer things until after the scene tree is finished running, which is nice. Okay, so if game manager.player and self dot is alive, so we can stop moving the zombie when the zombie is dead. There's probably some other stuff we have to do here. Okay, so if, let's see, if not self dot is alive, we just want to return from here. Because we don't care if the zombie takes damage anymore, and we don't want to keep spawning zombies. Anything else? I think that should do it. Yeah, I think that's good. So what else? We removed the current zombie sprite. That's done. Or no, wait, we need to do self.mark visible with false. And then we turn off all of the zombie logic. So I think that's fine. Now in dead zombie, global position equals self.global position. There's something off about that. So let me look in the dead zombie. We might be setting position. Yeah, so we're setting, oh no, that's the inventory pop-up. It's the only place we're setting position, so that's fine. Okay, when we're saving zombie information now, whoops. Hey, Shadow, how's it going? Not much. I'm working on the save system. So I'd neglected this for several weeks as I added other features, and it's a little more dense now, but I'm going through and getting zombies saving to chunks properly. I got inventory saving properly for both players and zombies. I think I'm pretty close to being done and ready to move on to some other features, but before I got too far with other features, I wanted to make sure I got this finished. Okay, so in zombie save, why is that not? Oh, it's NPC save, right? In NPC save, we not only want to save the inventory, but we also want to save whether or not this NPC is alive. So we'll say NPC metadata. Cool, sounds fun, lol. Yeah, it's, you know, It's not the most glamorous part of game development, but it's definitely a big part of it. So we'll say NPC metadata. We want to store config file dot set value. Oh, and we need oops. We'll say metadata. So NPC metadata section. NPC is alive. NPC is alive. And we'll say NPC metadata section, NPC is alive. And then we'll set it with npc.isAlive. So as I mentioned in the last stream, we also want to make an NPC class that has a lot of the base information that a zombie class currently has, because eventually we'll be adding more enemies and characters and things. And so if we have all of that inherit in NPC class, it makes all of this much easier to implement long term, because then we can use, like we're doing right now, a single save class to save any NPC. And you might have to get it, you know, it might become a little more complex if there are certain NPCs with traits that other NPCs don't have, but then you can, you know, extend this save file to do that. So it becomes relatively straightforward to do. Let's go to, let's see. Okay, dead zombie. So what we want to do actually, whoops, hold on, what am I doing here? What I want to do is, oh, hold on. Let's not get too far ahead of myself here. So in NPC save, I also need to populate the zombie with the is alive variable. So I say NPC dot is alive. Let's also make this, give it a getter and a setter. So we'll return is alive and set is alive equals is alive. So that equals config file dot get value, NPC metadata section, NPC is alive, and the default on that will be false. The default on that will be true. Theoretically, it should exist always, but that's fine. Okay, so on the zombie here, when we're loading in the inventory, which we aren't doing yet actually. So let's go to player and see how we're doing this again. Okay, so we're creating the, let's see. Wait, save manager dot populate player. Populate player. Okay, interesting. I don't have a save zombie function here because that's happening as part of the, oh, okay. So we need a way to when we load, okay, where are we loading zombies in? Get chunks to load. Maybe it's in chunk. Add zombie. Okay, populate zombies. No. Okay, so here's where we're loading in the zombies. So we get the ID and the global position. We set that to the zombie instance. And the zombie config, we populate the NPC. We set the inventory and zombie instance dot is alive equals saved zombie that is alive. And we add that instance. Okay, so I think that's fine. Now, that should be okay. So in ready here, so if it's a new game, we'll randomize items at some point. Otherwise, so I guess else if not self dot is alive, we want to basically instantiate the dead zombie like we're doing here and set everything to like marking visible as false. So we essentially want to do this logic, which I could eventually pull this into the core zombie scene rather than being a separate entity, but just for the sake of not refactoring too much right now, I'm gonna do this, which should work just fine. And then we also want to mark visible as false. So here, create dead zombie if zombie isn't alive. Okay, so at this point it should have been populated already because we hadn't added it to the scene, then we added to the scene, then it's ready, gets called. Okay, I think this should work. Now I need to go back into the saves and delete them because they won't really be compatible. I mean, they would actually, but it's just easier to start a new game. Okay, so let's try killing a zombie. Okay, so the sprite doesn't show up. Oh, no, it does actually, but way over there. Does that mean... Okay, so I got some weird bugs going on here. For some reason, the global position, this global position setting isn't working properly. Maybe I just want to say position is vector 0 or vector 2 0 because it's a child of, yeah, because it's a child of the zombie, it could just be placed right on top. So I think that should be fine. We're marking visible as false, but now that I'm looking at this, what actually is this marking? Where's the function itself? Hold on. Self dot is zombie visible sprite, so it says sprite isn't visible. If we go into zombie, that should be okay because we're just adding the dead zombie sprite should be visible though. Oh, and it is. Because we were seeing it. Okay, let's give this a try. Start a new game. Okay, so we're still not seeing the about type and function add chat. Okay, so we need to turn off the so we do actually need to turn off the collision masks that we see here. So are we pulling them in anywhere? We're not. So let's update the names here. This collision shape is for the world, I believe. Wait, is this even? Yeah, it's circle. Where is Hold on a second. Okay, so this is for the... Why am I not seeing the... Oh, okay, collision layer. Okay, so one thing we actually want to do on the player, because we're taking damage somewhere. So you take damage? No. That logic exists somewhere. Though, where the player, if the player touches... Maybe that's in Game Manager? Or is it here? Else... Let's see. Set player, game over. Okay, when is game over called? On world. Okay, I don't think that's actually being called anywhere. So, okay, so this is connected weapon collision, light collision area. So that's all fine. Let's see, calculate distance to player. Because there's definitely something happening when the player collides with a zombie. Okay, on enemy collision body entered. Okay, is game over dot emit. So if body is zombie and body dot is alive, I'll just say to do update this and make it better. Okay, we got that. Let's see. Get inventory. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what's connecting to this. There's probably Game Manager probably does. Is game... Okay, so we are connecting is game over to game over, which reloads the current scene. Sometimes that doesn't work though, which is fine. Okay, so let's give this another try here. Close that. Let's start a new game. Run through the same thing. So can we run into this? We can. We can't open the dual inventory menu. So there's something. There is an issue. Okay, now they're still popping up way over there. Why is that happening? It's just the placement. It's really just the placement. So... Oh, I didn't update the position properly. Okay, I should just have a single function that does the... Okay, so... handle dead zombie creation. Let's return void. And from here, we want to just do... this. And so we'll call self.handle dead zombie creation. We want this to be zombie position equals vector 2.0. So this should place it on the dead zombie. So we're calling it there. We also want to call it in ready when the zombie is not alive. So say self.handle dead zombie creation. Okay, let's give this a try now. Start a new game. Cool, that works. Does it still move with me? No. Okay, that's hilarious that it's oriented that way. It's interesting. I'm sure I can fix that. And I also need to fix the layering so that the player's on top, as well as not calculate any of that on a dead zombie, like the yellow box that basically says this is the Sixth Sense feature that I created that basically tells you where the closest zombie to you is if they're within a certain range. Okay, let's go ahead and save and exit and try to boot up and see if the zombies are in the right spot. They are, and they're oriented the correct way. They preserve their, that's awesome. They preserve their inventory. Although the player inventory, we lost our ammo. Also, those zombies take damage still, and they turn. Why are they turning? That's really strange. Okay, so a few things happening here. It looks as though the zombie inventories are saving as intended. The player inventory, however, is not saving ammo properly. And then we have that weird bug. So hold on a sec. Okay. One moment, please. Let me just update my notes. Okay, so add inventory to save system. So within this, we have a few things we need to do. We need to fix Sixth Sense on dead zombies. We need to fix weapon inventory ammo, probably both on player and NPCs. And then lastly, we need to fix rotation of dead zombies when hit. Okay. Great, so let's tackle the player weapon inventory ammo issue. I don't know why this is happening. So let's go to player save. So we're setting player's inventory with save inventory. Okay, when we populate, we're populating. So actually we need to go into inventory save because I assume this is where it's happening. Okay, if config file has section, weapon inventory section, load it in. But are we saving it properly? It does look like we're saving. So why? Oh, we didn't, we're not handling it properly. So it needs to be handled like the stackable inventory items are here. So the difference between an equipped weapon in our game right now and equipped ammo is that equipped weapon loses its stackable inventory item status when it becomes an equipped weapon. I didn't have to do that, but it just felt like the fine approach at the time. But equipped ammo still has that status, so we need to do basically the same thing here. So if let's see. So we'll say var ammo data, and by default this will be, it'll be a dictionary, but by default it'll just be null. So we'll say if inventory.weapon inventory.equipped ammo does not equal null, then ammo data equals amount. And I should probably come up with a more reusable stackable inventory item data thing for this, but so amount is inventory.weapon inventory.equipped ammo.get amount, and then the same applies for item ID. Weapon inventory.equipped ammo.get item.get item ID. So that should handle that. And then we'll say, instead of setting equipped ammo, we need to set ammo data, which means that when we are populating, if it has the weapon inventory section here, we'll say ammo data equals config file dot get value weapon inventory section weapon inventory ammo, with the default being null, which I guess is already the default, so let's not worry about that. If ammo data does not equal null, then we want to say base item equals items list dot get item by ID. We'll say ammo data dot get item ID. We also want to say if ammo data does not equal null, actually we'll assert that ammo data dot get item ID does not equal null if ammo data is not null, then item ID must also not be null. Great, so we'll get the item by ID. We will get the base amount similarly to what we're doing above, as ammo data dot get amount. We assert that, actually we can do the exact same assertions here. Assert that base item does not equal null. So we could probably actually have a reusable function for this, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Then we do this for our item, and then we say inventory.weapon inventory.equipped ammo equals item. And I think if we don't set it to, it should be set to null. Hey, copy. I am doing well. How are you? I am doing well. Just finishing up the inventory. Well, I found a couple bugs, but finishing up the save stuff I've been doing over the last couple streams. And fixing a few bugs with it, but I think I've just resolved the equipped ammo stuff. So let's go ahead and delete all our saves here because they won't work anymore. We'll start a new game. We'll add rifle ammo here. Shoot a few times, reload. Shoot a zombie. Zombie dies. We can even put more rifle ammo in our inventory. We'll hit save, we'll exit. We start up again and continue. Okay, we see ourselves in the same position and we still, okay, great. We still have the same rifle ammo here. So that works as expected. As you can see as well, whenever, I wonder if that's, oh, I think, okay, so we resolved the ammo issue. Let's go back into zombie. I think what I'm doing when calculate gunshot distance is I actually turn the, let's see. Yeah, look at. So I have it look at the player's position. That's why it's doing that weirdness. So we don't care about this function if the zombie is not alive. So if not self.is alive, we'll just return from this function because we can just ignore it. The other thing is we don't want collision to happen here anymore. So when we're doing the ray tracing or the raycast weapon collision stuff in, I think, the base weapon class, use weapon here. Yeah, when we're doing all this ray direction, ray end stuff with intersection, we actually want to ignore zombies. So is there a way to do that? Hold on. So intersection space state dot intersect ray parameters. Is there anything about what is the collision mask here? Oh, adjust the collision mask as needed. Interesting. So this might be so we do need to ignore if the zombie is dead. So we probably actually have to update the collision mask for the zombie weapon collision, I believe. So let's get that working at on ready. Chatting both in YouTube and Twitch. My favorite guy. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm not a genius. I've just been doing this for almost a decade. Well, not game dev, but coding. So I've got a few years under my belt. Okay, so weapon collision scene equals weapon collision, and I believe it's this. Yeah, it's this that has the collision layer. What is 5? Have I set up the collision? Let's see. Collision or masks layer. I think there's, is it 2D render? Yeah, okay. So layer 5 is enemy hit. So I think I want to set layer 5 for weapon collision to false for both layer and mask, I think. So when I do handle dead zombie creation, I also want to say weapon collision scene dot collision layer. How do you set this actually? It's an integer. The physics layers that this area is in, they're gonna be 32 different layers. They work like a tagging system, but how do you do, they can exist in more than one, so how do you, how do you set like only for, okay, hold on, Godot for programmatically set collision layer. Change collision layers and mask layers via code. Okay, set collision layer bit and set collision mask bit. I'm trying to change the collisions. Okay, gotcha. So set collision layer value. Hold on. Okay, layer number and value. Okay, great. So layer number 5, we want false, and we want to do the same for set collision mask value. I think this should be a valid, yeah. Okay, also set that to false. So I think that means we shouldn't have an issue there. Also, I think this may actually be, let me check one other thing. So on the zombie itself, it's on layer 3 and looking towards 1. So it's possible that the weapon logic here is by default only looking for layer 1. So we might still see an issue here. So let's test this. Yeah, so it's still hitting that. So I think what we need to do actually is set ray parameters dot set so collision mask equals 5, because that's the enemy physics layers the query will detect as a bit mask. Oh, by default all collision layers are detected. That's not okay. Let's see if this changes things at all. This may also mean that it won't collide. We want it to still collide with walls and things when we add that. Okay, so it's still colliding there, so that doesn't change it. So that's not what we want to do. So I think we're probably not setting this collision mask value properly. Oh, we need to set all of this to false, I believe. So not only weapon collision, although now I'm realizing this might not even be used at all, actually. Okay, so what we really want to do is set the self.set collision layer value 3 to false. Self.set collision mask value of 1 to false. And then we're doing this with the light collision area, so 3 as well. So let's say light collision scene. So this is the flashlight stuff. We can disable this as well. So light collision area. Then we do the same thing here, except this is a light collision scene. Light collision scene, and then 3 for both of these. Okay, let's see if this resolves our problem. Yes, it does. Perfect. And we can still shoot normal zombies, but then and still open the inventory. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Great. So we can load back in. And everything seems to be saved where we had it before. Let's, okay, you don't have any extra ammo. We're going to run out of ammo here. So let's grab some more from these guys. I need to fix the dual inventory menu I'm opening with a different keybind than the regular inventory, and I'm probably getting to the point where that isn't necessary anymore. So we want to readjust the zombies so that they I guess it doesn't really matter all that much, like how they face when they die, although it does mess up the UI element here. So let's adjust them so they are always looking down and not looking at the player anymore. So also we want to say look at maybe vector 2.0. Let's give that a try. Oh, that's not going to be right. We just want the rotation to be at 0. So let's see, what's the transform value for that? Rotation. So we can probably say actually self.rotation equals 0 would be my guess. To float relative to the node's parent. I think that should work. Oh, I didn't save. Well, there you go. If I exit without saving. Okay, so that looks correct. Cool. But, okay, let me just make sure zombie inventory is saving properly, right? Yes, okay. Awesome. Okay, so we fixed all that, and we turned off the 6 cents for dead zombies. Okay, so let's save and restart, and we should be surrounded by dead zombies here. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. And they still have shadows cast on them, which is fine. And yeah, great. So that, let's go back to here. So this was a lot of work done here. Added, updated save system to handle inventories, weapons, zombies, dead zombies, and other new features. Okay, so that's been like 3 streams worth of work that just got committed, which is fun. So now we're kind of to the point where we can start thinking about what we want to do next. Why aren't you? That's weird. Oh, okay. I have a bug where I can't reopen the inventory when I like move around. Like if zombies are on top of each other, but I can deal with that later. Thanks, Shadow. Feels like an accomplishment. Okay, let's see what's next on the docket. I do only have maybe 10 more minutes that I can stream today. It's kind of a short one because I have something to do tonight. But so 8 minutes probably isn't going to be enough time to get anything big done. But what I kind of want to work on next is adding a little more variety to the game world. In the case of like trees and vegetation. So right now, you know, we've been looking at and it looks even worse for you guys on stream because I can see kind of the detail of like grass in the background here. This is like just a pixel block that's mesh that's like, oh, you know, placed over and over and over again. So I can see a little bit of detail and can see things moving around, but when I've looked at the stream and at the YouTube videos that get made of the stream, you can't really see the difference here, so it looks kind of funky. So I want to add some more vegetation just to make it like a little more interesting, and maybe some like paths or whatever to like give some character to the world. So I think that's what I'll focus on next. And then also some like basic, I might work on like a chest system where you can store more inventory than just what's in your backpack. And then, you know, can add some more items and weapons and stuff like that. So we're kind of getting to the point where we have a base structure for the game. We have no objective yet. So that's, you know, an entirely different thing that we need to work on, but we're getting to the point where we have enough of a base that we can start adding things on top and like really trying to build out like more of a world. So even though I said I have like 10 more minutes to stream, or maybe at this point 6 more minutes, I think I'll hop off here, and the next one, which unfortunately won't be until probably Sunday, because I am going to be out of town tomorrow and Saturday. We will start working on some more like world building stuff. So if any of you can join then, I'd love to have you guys. Today was short but sweet, but we finished getting the inventory system ready for saving, as well as some other bug fixes and stuff. But overall, it was fun. Just a little over 50 minutes of streaming. But yeah, thanks for hopping on, everyone. Have a good next couple of days, and I'll see you on Sunday.